wanted no parts of that. So when Holmes was doing that shit, I was like, bro, you know our homie violated, and he violated my girl. He violated a friend of yours. The moral challenge and him choosing one way, I knew morally we weren't the same. So to me, Rockefeller was defunct. It was over. I couldn't fuck with it. It was something that to me was just like, not to say unforgivable, but I couldn't understand it.
For $1. Look at how he did Dame. Like, I don't get if you wanted to get away from your homie, if you wanted to get away from your partner, but to do it the way he did it, it's malicious. But maybe that was because he was a girl that didn't want you.
All right, y'all, buckle up because what I'm about to share will have you shook. Imagine two of the biggest names in the industry, Jay-Z and Dame Dash, caught in a love triangle with none other than Aaliyah. But here's the kicker. This isn't your typical love story. There's manipulation, power plays, and secrets that are darker than we've ever imagined. And just when you think you've heard it all, new allegations surface that make you question everything. Was Aaliyah really in love? Or was she trapped in a game she couldn't escape? Let's break this all down, but fair warning, this rabbit hole goes deep. It all started when Dame Dash, Aaliyah's longtime partner and confidant, decided to speak out.
Time people say they not with somebody is when they get busted. And yeah, I was told by Aaliyah, do not shake, ruffle no feathers, because it's going to bring more awareness to it, and she wanted to move on. So she said, I was surprised it took so long for something to happen, just based on what I was hearing.
In a jaw-dropping interview, Dame revealed that Jay-Z didn't just admire Aaliyah from afar, he actively pursued her, despite knowing the trauma she carried from her past with R. Kelly. And it gets worse. Dame hinted that Jay-Z used his power and influence to push Aaliyah into a relationship she didn't want. According to Dame, Aaliyah was deeply scarred by her relationship with R. Kelly. For those who don't remember, R. Kelly, who was her mentor, married Aaliyah when she was just 15 years old. That marriage was annulled after public outrage, but the damage was done. Aaliyah was left trying to rebuild her life and career when Jay-Z entered the picture. And let's just say his approach was anything but innocent. At the time, Jay-Z was already a massive star with the entire music industry at his fingertips. Aaliyah, though incredibly talented, was still navigating her place in the industry. Dame described how Jay-Z began sending flowers, making grand gestures.
How many betrayals we talked about with Jay? This ain't the first one, but this the first one we talking about because the only one affected us. So for me, I'm like, big deal, he everybody over. Jermaine Dupri's stupid for listening to him. That's what I think. We all know Jay. So once he does what he did, how he did Rockefeller, why do you think he'd do anything else? That's Jay. Those principles don't mean anything. Jay runs with the bag, period. That's it. All right, cool. So if you that man, that's on you. I'm not gonna be a wet wounded duck and go, oh, this nigga, he played Rockefeller, he played big, he played everybody. No, we all know he did that. Y'all just wasn't saying shit. We all know what Jay did and how he did it. And all his friends end up working for him, and I go this way where the people I love end up being my partners. But what I am mad about is I haven't seen a reasonable doubt royalty in like 10 years. I can say that.
And aggressively pursuing Aaliyah, despite knowing she wasn't interested. Dame even said that Aaliyah felt pressured to play along because, in an industry dominated by powerful men, saying no wasn't always an option. But here's where it gets even darker. While Jay-Z was trying to win Aaliyah over, he was still collaborating with R. Kelly. Yes, the same R. Kelly who had already caused Aaliyah so much pain. The two even released an album and went on tour together. Dame was furious when he found out, calling it a betrayal not just to him, but to Aaliyah herself. How could Jay-Z work with the man who had hurt someone he claimed to care about? As more details emerge, it's clear that Aaliyah felt trapped. She didn't want to be with Jay-Z, but the power dynamics made it nearly impossible for her to walk away. According to Dame, Aaliyah confided in him about how uncomfortable she felt, but she didn't want to make waves. She'd already been through so much with R. Kelly, and the last thing she wanted was more public scrutiny. Dame, who was deeply protective of Aaliyah, tried to shield her from the toxicity. But even he admits that the industry's pressure was overwhelming.
I were very serious. We talked about getting married, so I knew exactly what went on.
She just be like, no, that's a bad man.
Aaliyah was a young woman trying to navigate her career, her trauma, and her relationships in an environment where saying no often came with consequences. Dame and Jay-Z's friendship began to crumble as tensions over Aaliyah escalated. According to Dame, Jay-Z wasn't just hurt by Aaliyah's rejection, he was bitter. And when Aaliyah started leaning more towards Dame, the rivalry turned personal. Dame recalled moments when Jay-Z's friends mocked him, and the tension in their circle became unbearable. But the breaking point came when Aaliyah tragically passed away in 2001. Dame was devastated, describing Aaliyah as the love of his life. And yet, just months after her death, Jay-Z continued collaborating with R. Kelly. For Dame, this wasn't just a professional disagreement. It was a betrayal that he couldn't forgive. Now here's where things get really chilling. Some rumors suggest that Aaliyah didn't even want to board the plane that ultimately took her life. In fact, there are claims that she was unconscious when she was placed on the aircraft. And while these theories remain unconfirmed, they raise unsettling questions about the circumstances surrounding her death. One particularly disturbing rumor alleges that Jay-Z pushed for Aaliyah to get on that plane, knowing it was a risk. Why? Some conspiracy theorists believe it was because Aaliyah was planning to speak out about the inappropriate advances she'd faced, potentially exposing Jay-Z in the process. While there's no concrete evidence to support these claims, the mere suggestion adds another layer of complexity to an already tragic story, adding fuel to the fire. Singer Jaguar Wright recently came forward with her own allegations about Jay-Z and Aaliyah. According to Jaguar, Jay-Z became increasingly aggressive in his pursuit of Aaliyah after her divorce from R. Kelly. She claimed that Aaliyah wasn't interested in Jay-Z but felt she couldn't escape his advances. Jaguar also hinted that Jay-Z's ego couldn't handle rejection, and he was determined to have Aaliyah, no matter the cost. Jaguar's claims align with what Dame and others have said about Jay-Z's behavior. Together, these accounts paint a disturbing picture of power, manipulation, and control in an industry that often turns a blind eye to such issues. And it doesn't stop there. Over the years, questions have been raised about Jay-Z's relationships with younger women. From his alleged connection to a 13-year-old girl in 2000 to his relationship with Foxy Brown when she was just 15, there's a pattern that's hard to ignore. Even his relationship with Beyoncé raises eyebrows, considering she was only 16 or 17 when they reportedly started dating. These allegations, combined with what we now know about his pursuit of Aaliyah, suggest a troubling trend. And while Jay-Z has largely remained silent on these issues, the growing chorus of voices speaking out against him makes it clear that this is a story far from over. Aaliyah's death left a void that's still felt in the music industry today. For Dame Dash, it was a loss he'll never fully recover from. But more than 2 decades later, the questions surrounding her relationships with powerful men like Jay-Z and R. Kelly continue to haunt her legacy. So, was Aaliyah truly in love? Or was she a victim of manipulation by those who held all the power? As more allegations come to light, one thing is clear: the entertainment industry has a dark side that's long overdue for accountability. This story isn't just about Aaliyah, Jay-Z, or Dame Dash. It's about the systemic issues that allow powerful men to exploit their influence with little to no consequences. As fans, we owe it to Aaliyah and others like her to demand the truth and hold those responsible accountable. So what do you think? Was Aaliyah forced into a relationship she didn't want? Or is this just another Hollywood conspiracy? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more dives into the stories the industry doesn't want you to know. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next.